Laos is a landlocked country located in southeastern Asia and shares a border with Vietnam. The Geneva Conference in 1954 was an attempt to promote stability throughout this area. At the conference, Laos was deemed a neutral state. However, the U.S. slowly began to move troops into Laos during the Vietnam War. This set the scene for a secret war.
The Secret War is a term used to describe the situation for Laos during the Vietnam War. The Vietnamese Communists developed a movement in Laos called the Pathet Lao. The U.S. did not want another country to fall to communism, so they allied with the Royal Laotian Party to prevent the spread of communism in the East. As a result, many Laotians were recruited into the army and large parts of the country were bombed. According to the Legacies of War organization, by the end of the war, at least 270 million bombs were dropped by the United States on Laos. Of those 270 million, 80 million bombs did not detonate. On the Legacies of War website, it translates these 270 million bombs into over 2 tons of bombs that were delivered over Laos in 580,000 bombing missions. This breaks down to one plane load of bombs every 8 minutes, 24 hours a day, for 9 years. According to Marwan Macon-Marker of IPS News, Laos has been affected by cluster munition more than any country in the world.
Today, those 80 million bombs are spread around the country and limit the availability of land for farming. They are so common that the Laotians have nicknamed them bommies. According to the CIA fact book, Laos remains a country with an underdeveloped infrastructure, accompanied by a very basic road system and primitive telecommunications. For countries that remain this undeveloped, they are left to rely on the raw materials of their land area in labor-intensive economic processes. As described by the CIA fact book, the Laotian economy depends heavily on subsistence agriculture, especially rice cultivation. This subsistence agriculture makes up about 30% of the GDP and is the source of 80% of total employment.
Farming is a crucial part of Laos's economy, and with the presence of undetonated bombs scattered through undefined areas, citizens are kept from expanding their farms. Edwin Feig-Main, a UN affiliate working as a technical advisor in Laos, stated in an interview that the process of clearing unexploded ordnances is very slow, and if the bombs are hit with a spike, they can explode and have the power to kill. While waiting for clearance teams to reach their areas, poor farmers often try to take matters into their own hands. The Food Security Program describes on their website how farmers risk their lives daily with these undetonated cluster bombs. In one example, a woman waited months for a clearance team to reach her farm. Frustrated with waiting, she began cutting down trees and shrubs so that the land could be plowed and prepared for cultivation. However, her plan reached a halting stop when she could not find anyone willing to plow the land with tractors. Nobody would do the job because they were afraid bombs would explode while they were plowing.
Experts estimate that someone is injured or killed by a UXO every day. This means that World War II is still killing people in present day. Beginning in 1993, the U.S. sent foreign aid to Laos to help clear the bombs. Since then, their economic growth has progressed, but there's still a lot of work to be done. According to the Legacies of War organization, it would cost at least $150 million just to clear the high priority areas. Until this money is available, many areas are left with unexploded ordnances littered underneath their soil. The Legacies of War website identifies that the areas most affected by the unexploded ordnance are the poorest districts in the country. There is a correlation between the poverty level and the presence of undetonated bombs from the secret war that occurred decades ago. For Laos to make valiant strides toward a more prosperous economy through unexploded ordnance clearance, the Legacies of War website suggests that the U.S. establish a long-term commitment. While it costs the U.S. $57 billion for the bombing campaign of the Secret War, the U.S. has only contributed $2.7 to $5 million a year for the removal. Eventually, the Laos government would like to build roads to connect it to the bordering countries to expand trade and relations. However, to reach this point, they must overcome the challenges associated with their unindustrialization and economic development.